now? Short answer, no, guitar sales are not down. It's an excitable subject matter that I've read tons of articles about. I've talked to some of my guitar shop friends and my guitar buying friends. Guitar sales are astronomically through the roof right now. Here's the big tagline. In fact, it's the biggest selling quarter was last Christmas time in the history of music sales. It surpassed over, I think, $3 billion in sales for musical instruments, which is insane, primarily driven by the fretted guitar instrument category. Now, this is all coming around when there was articles, I think last year and 2 years ago, the end of guitar sales. It's over. Even a friend of mine, George Gruen, I love you, but he had this big spread that I think they misquoted him and whatnot, but talking about, the industry's changed. Everyone was worried it was going to be over. The buying experience has changed, but the numbers have gone dramatically through the roof. It's shifting from an in-store mail order catalog. Yes, that was a thing at one point. You'd send in a check from the mail order. It's shifting from that to online sales is growing exponentially right now. In-store sales have sort of slowed up for a lot of folks, but then it's increasing dramatically for the guys that are able to handle it. But across the board, there are more people buying guitars than ever. Point in case, let's take one of our largest retailers in the country, Sweetwater. They had their biggest growth and their biggest sales ever last quarter with over $800 million in sales. That number boggles me, but the number that boggles me more is how many guitars they sold. They're right under, I'll just give you the exact number, right at 147,000 guitars. That's 147,000 new instruments going into the market. To new players, to old players, to the players that are but it's 147,000 new instruments. We're not talking about the resale, and that's just one online shop, albeit the biggest one. Now you have Guitar Centers, which they do more sales, but let's just take that one. And they're also expanding. They've had such a good quarter. They're expanding their growth of their factories or their warehousing, I'm sorry. They have schools. They have warehouses. They have a new whole display facility being built. It's pretty impressive. Ourselves, we had a tremendous growth the last quarter as well. And we see more people coming in. And what's really shocking us are the amount of young female guitar players coming in. We saw the trend start to shift about 5 years ago. And then it really has just picked up steam. Our teaching studios are filled with female players. Our buying audience has now become a great, you think it would just be acoustic too. It's across the board 50-50, electric and acoustic to female buyers. And so the entire dynamic of this market is not what the doom and gloom was a few years ago. I'm talking just 2 to 3 years ago. The big drop was 2008, and it took almost all this time to recover, but there's been a steady growth for the past nine and a quarter years has been the growth every quarter. But then last quarter was sort of the gangbusters one. And we had one less week in that quarter. The most important quarter of the entire year was short because of a late Thanksgiving and Christmas fell. So we had one less week than normal. So with that, it's even crazier. So everything in the music industry is doing really well, except pianos are down 1.6%. And the big dropper, church organs. They're really not selling like they used to. So if you're in piano and church organs, they're not moving at the rate that we're used to seeing them go. But across the board, people like guitars. They're playing them differently, but they're playing them at a greater number than ever before. So let us know your thoughts. If you're in the guitar business, or if you're in the retail business, or more importantly, if you are buying a guitar, considering buying a guitar, let's talk to us about what's inspiring you and exciting you to have this fuel that's going on. We're all trying to figure it out too. There's definitely a fire underneath people wanting guitars. And I see it with new, beginning, and experienced and old, and just amateur to every level. Everyone's wanting guitars right now. My wife wants guitars and she barely plays. My kids just want them because they're pretty and they like to make noise and make daddy frustrated. But let us know what you think. We're excited about this whole path, obviously. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Casino Guitars.